What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be working on practice test 9 again, module 2 of the math, the first part for today's video. Looking at question 1, we have this equation up here. It's asking what value of w is the solution. What we're going to do is subtract 7 from each side, and we get w is equal to 350. Okay, question 2, which expression is equivalent to 16 times x plus 15? All we're going to do is distribute, and then 16 plus 15 is 240. So our answer is going to be B. Question 3, the table summarizes members of a local organization by age and whether they live east or west of the river. If a member of the organization is selected at random, what is the probability that the selected member is at least 40 years old? Okay, so at least 40 years old, we have this section over here. And it's asking if they are part of the organization, so that includes both sides. So 107 out of 135 would be our answer. Question 4, the solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of y? For this equation, all we're going to do is add them, and these cancel out, and we get y is equal to 12 plus negative 6, which is 6. So y is equal to 6. Question 5, a line in the xy plane has a slope of 1/9 and passes through the point 0, 14. Which expression represents this line? So we know y equals mx plus b is our formula, so we have y is equal to the slope, 1 over 9x, and then passes through the point 0, 14, so the y-intercept is 14. Looking at our answer choices, these slopes are both negative, so that's wrong. And then we're looking for the positive y-intercept, which is B. D. Question 6, in the figure shown, line C intersects parallel lines S and T. What is the value of x? Okay, well, we need to know our angle rules for this, so we know that these angles are going to be the same, and we know that these angles are going to be the same. So to find this angle over here, x, we need to do 180 is equal to 110 plus x, since they are supplementary angles. So we have x is equal to 70. And that's going to be your answer for this question. Question 7. The function f is defined by the given equation. What is the value of f of x when x is equal to 3 over 11? Okay, so we have f of 3 over 11 is equal to 3 over 11 plus 8 over 11. This is going to be equal to 11 over 11, which is equal to 1. Question 8, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. There is a linear relationship between x and y. Which of the following equations represents this relationship? Okay, so we're going to find the slope first, and we're already given our y-intercept, because our y-intercept is when x is equal to 0, so we can immediately cross out a and c. And then finding our slope, we can do 13 minus 8 over 1 minus 2, and we get 5 over negative 1, which is equal to negative 5. So looking at our answer choices, if our slope is negative 5 and our y-intercept is 18, that gives us answer choice D. Question 9, which ordered pair xy is a solution to the given system of equations? Okay, so if we're looking for both x and y, what we can do here is substitution, because x plus 7 is equal to 10. We substitute that into here, and we get 10 squared is equal to y, so y is equal to 100. Now we substitute y back into the first equation. Sorry, not the first equation, the second equation. And we get x plus 7 squared is equal to 100. And what we're going to do is take the square root of both sides, and we get 10 is equal to x plus 7, and x is equal to 3. So we have our points 3 for the x and 100 for the y, and that gives us our answer, which matches with A. Question 10, the function f is defined by f of x is equal to 7x minus 84. What is the x-intercept if the graph of y is equal to f of x in the xy plane? Okay, so if we're looking for the x-intercept, that means the y value is going to be equal to 0, and then we set that equal to our equation. So we have 84 is equal to 7x. So x is going to be equal to 12. And we know our y is equal to 0, so we get 12 comma 0, and that matches with D. Question 11, Rosa opens a savings account at a bank. The table shows the exponential relationship between the time t in years since Rosa opened the account and the total amount n in dollars in the account. If Rosa made no additional deposits or withdrawals, which of the following equations best represents the relationship between t and n? So total amount of dollars n and t in time in years. So we know that the initial is 604, and it's going to be an exponential equation, and we know that it increases each year. And just looking at our answer choices right now, if we have t to the 0, we need to have 604 as our coefficient to represent an exponential equation, and this represents a 0.04 increase, or a 0.4% increase each year, which if we check with our calculator, we do 604, just 1 second, 604 times 1.004, and we do get 606.416, which rounds to 42 if we're doing dollars. And then again, if we do 604 times, now this time we're going to have 1.004 to the second power, and that gives us 608.84. So option C is correct for this question. Question 12, the function W models the volume of a liquid in millimeters in a container 2 seconds after it begins draining from a hole at the bottom. According to the model, what is the predicted volume in milliliters draining from the container each second? Okay, so we just look at the slope, and since it's t seconds after, we have the slope for each second, so it's decreasing by 4 each second. And looking at what the question's asking again, it's just asking what's the predicted amount draining from the container each second, which is 4. Okay, question 13, we have h of x is equal to x plus b. For the linear function h, b is a constant and h of 0 is equal to 45. What is the value of b? Okay, if we know h of 0 is equal to 45, that means our equation right here, h of x is equal to x plus 45. And given this, if we're looking for the value of b, that matches up with our value, so 45 is our answer. Okay, question 14, what is one of the solutions to the given equation? So for this, we can either factor or use the quadratic. Now, if we try to factor, we need two numbers that multiply together to get negative 24, and when those two numbers are added together, they get 10. So if we multiply 12 times negative 2, we get 24, and when we add those numbers together, it gives us 10. So with that, we have z plus 12 and z minus 2. So either of your answers for this equation would work. Just pick one and enter it in, and you'll be good. question 15, triangle FGH is similar to triangle JKL, where angle F corresponds to angle J, and angles G and K are right angles. If sine of F is 308 over 317, what is the value of sine of J? So if we know that these angles are the same, or sorry, the triangles are similar, that means their sines of the same angle are going to be the same. So sine of F corresponds to sine of J here, so it's going to give you the same answer of 308 over 317. That's a little shortcut you can use, because if you draw it out, these are going to be your two triangles. They may not be the same size because they're similar, not congruent, but we are given that F corresponds to J, and G and K are both right angles. And if we're looking for these two sides, or these two sines of these angles, we know that they're going to be the same based on how they're similar triangles. Okay, question 16. We're going to do this as our last question for today. The population of Greensville increased by 7% from 2015 to 2016. If the 2016 population is K times the 2015 population, what is the value of K? So if we're multiplying by a value each time, or once really, to get from 2015 to 2016, 7% can be represented by 1 plus the percentage. And to make this percentage into decimal format, we change it to 0.07. We divide it by 100. So the percent divided by 100. So this would be 1 plus 0.07, which would be equal to 1.07, and that's your value, which you would multiply by each time to get your K value and the next value in 2016. So C would be your answer. So I hope this video helped, and going into the March SAT, just really go through all these practice tests. Again, if you haven't already, use other materials, practice tests, anything you can find, which is just drilling the math work in particular. I feel like that's the easiest to learn. And then also repeating the questions you get wrong. That's very important. So keep that in mind when you're studying. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next video.